or a service center, or as a hardware, we are pretty much present in the entire country. The places that are marked on the map are the places where we actually have a retail footprint as MRM. So you'll go in and either find an MRM showroom or an MRM, what we call a service center. And our primary facility for manufacturing is in Mariakani, and that's a visual of our plant in Mariakani. So I'd like to take you through and give you just a snippet of how you get your final product, just so you appreciate the investment that goes into getting that roof over your head. Because sometimes we'll hear consumers or customers stating that, you know, mabati ni mabati, the statements that have been said like that. And we want to demystify why your hard-earned money should be protected. You should secure your investment because mabati si mabati. So we do get our raw material as hot rolled steel coils, which you call HRC coils. And these are the coils you see on trucks looking very rusted on the road, on the highways. And our value addition process starts from there, where we do something called pickling. And pickling is basically getting rid of the rust element, because the product is transported through the high seas because of the weight. And so there's a lot of corrosion that happens there. And so the first process is pickling, where we do get red oxide. For those of you who have interacted with red oxide, or if you remember traditionally our homes back in the day, that red surface that was there before, for those who did not have tiles, that's red oxide, and that's part of our that's part of the byproduct we get off of the pickling process. Then we go to the cold rolling mill, and this I like to describe as, picture someone who's cooking chapati, and they have their dough, and they've rolled into the bowls. And so the cold rolling mill is basically rolling out the very thick material into the different requirements that the customers would need, because my requirement as someone who's building a warehouse is different from someone who's building their own residential home. Someone who's building their residential home may not require as heavy a material as someone who's doing a commercial building. And so that's where we get the different gauges. When you hear gauges, you know, gauge is thickness. So that's basically what it means. From there, then we do a metal coating, which is called Zincal. And the reason why that's important is because it protects your material and it gives it longevity and durability. And this is where the shortcuts now start happening across the industry, because there's a regulation by KEBS over the standard that's supposed to be maintained. And quite often, once every quarter, we do tests in our labs just to see the compliance levels from different suppliers. And a majority of the time, you find that there are a lot of people who are taking shortcuts in a bid to reduce their operating expenses and the cost of the finished good. But then what happens is, I'm sure maybe you've interacted with, or in your neighborhood, you've seen someone who has just built their home. Sometimes they've not even occupied the house yet, but the roof is already fading or it's peeling. And that's a function of the fact that there was a compromise on the quality of metal coating that went on the product. From the metal coating line, we do get the first product, Dumuzas, and I would like to think that maybe some of you have interacted with the product Dumuzas. It's our flagship brand. It's a product that has been in the market the longest. It's a product that actually introduced the technology Zincal into the Kenyan and the African market, actually. Then from there, we do have byproducts that go to the fabricators, our Juakali customers, who then go into making wheelbarrows. We have G-cores, we have your meter boxes. All of those are also material that we do provide to the Juakali sector. So when we say we're more than we're more than a roofing company, we are a building solutions company, then it truncates through all of those sectors. From there, we do go into your color coating line, where now we do a double coat on your roof, on your roofing sheet. And what a double coat implies is, I like to give the analogy of when you're doing paint work in your house. The correct or the standard procedure, the best practice is that you prepare your surface first for it to be adhesive, for the surface to be adhesive to the paint you're about to have on it. Then you do a primer, and then you do the first coat and then your top coat. That's what happens typically when you are doing your painting for your house. And the same process happens for roofing sheets. Now, unfortunately, this is somewhere else where there's a lot of compromise on the color coat being done by a couple of manufacturers. So you get that they skip the primer stage, which is supposed to prepare the surface for the roofing sheet to be adhesive to the paint. So then what ends up happening, if you do not have a primer on the product, then you start seeing failures of peeling and you start seeing failures of fading. And this is why sometimes some manufacturers are unable to give you a warranty against a product because it will not stand the test of time. But we are saying with Mabati Rolling Mills, every product you buy that's manufactured by us has a warranty against it, just to show you the trust levels that we have, the investment that we have put behind to be able to back it up with a warranty. Now, we have a large array of products spanning from the residential to industrial, like I alluded to earlier, and to building solutions, which we'll cover most of. So I'd just like to play a video to show the array of products that we have.
For almost 50 years, Mabati Rolling Mills has been the trusted name when it comes to quality and durable building materials. We have the right building solution for you when it comes to building your dream home. Our pre-engineered, cold-formed, ultra-span steel trussing will hold up your house for years to come. We have you covered, whatever the weather, with Saftherm, which provides effective insulation properties, adding indoor comfort against heat and cold. Our steel roof sheets, Dumuzas and Dumurangi, are made with high tensile steel, making them long-lasting and reliable. For box profile roofing solutions, CoverMax and Max Cover are available in a variety of colors suitable for your diverse needs. Looking for steel roofing tiles? Versatile, Orientile, and elegant tile are aesthetically pleasing roof profiles that are sophisticated and durable. We also have stone-coated steel tiles, Lifestyle Wave and Lifestyle, that are shingle stone-coated steel tiles that give your house a timeless, classic finish. Use the high-performing and durable fixed-tight fasteners that are corrosion-resistant to hold your roofing in place. Effectively harvest rainwater with RainGain and control your water supply. At Mabati Rolling Mills, we ensure you get durable building solutions that will serve you and your family for years to come. Mabati Rolling Mills, your trusted building solutions provider.
So you can see the array of products we have span across different segments, and there's a lot of offerings over and beyond roofing. And one thing I need to point out that has come up quite a bit is that we've noted that one of the most underrated costs in construction, people know about the slab, people know about the foundation. People know about how hectic it gets with a slab, but when it comes to roofing, somehow that cost is usually very, very underrated. And so when we are issuing a quotation, we find that a lot of people are shocked because they didn't think it would be as significant a cost. So here is a tip. When you're doing your construction, please note that the cost of your roofing plus your structure plus your labor is sometimes will get upwards of 30% of the total build. Typically, it will be 10 to 15%, sometimes 20%, also depending on the roofing material that you're using. So you see, if you're looking at a building worth 10 million, for example, a residential home worth 10 million from the BQ, you can calculate how much that is going to cost you. So that's one of the things we usually educate on and say, while you're thinking about roofing, do not also think about it in terms of as a percentage of your total cost so that you're able to plan yourself accordingly and you don't end up switching on your dream home just because it came as a shock to you just how significant the cost of roofing is. And I'm not speaking about just Mabati rolling mills. I'm speaking about typically the cost of roofing your house would be anywhere between 10 to 30% of the total construction cost. So that's something to take note of so that even as you're planning, you can plan accordingly. So we'll go over our roofing sheets, and I'll start with why we are superior. And I have alluded to some of these points. One is because of the coating ratios that I spoke about before, that the coating ratio allows for your product to be better protected so that we're able to give you the minimum warranty we give you on any of our products is 7 years. We have warranties of up to 50 years, depending on the product. So that is to say that we have put in such an investment that we are able to back it up with a warranty. Then let's speak about width. So a lot of times it is not very obvious that when it comes to roofing, the conversation should be about how wide is a product you're being offered, not how long. Because when you talk about how long, you can get roofing sheets for as long as 6 meters if you have the right transport to take it to your site. But the width is what is a game changer, because if you have a wider sheet, then it means you cover a larger area. And so you're able to use less sheets. Now, the fallacy that's out there in the market is that you get, I'm giving you a more affordable or a cheaper product, but in essence, I am giving you a narrower product, which then means that if you were to use a wider product, your quantities would be less and your cost would also be significantly less. But this is not spoken about as much because most of the time when we go to the counter, we ask, hii ni pesa ngapi? The trader rarely makes a conversation to tell us that this is wider or this is narrower and this is the impact that it's going to have on your roofing. And that's why we do a lot of fundi trainings. And the essence of the fundi training is just so we also educate our fundis that maybe traditionally you are used to this width. MRM has come up with a wider profile that then allows you to use lesser sheets. And even for the fundi, it's a lot less time because they're able to cover a larger area faster. Then I spoke about the superior paint and double coat paint technology, where I was speaking about the primer and the undercoat and the top coat. And then we also have a very robust quality assurance process that every product that goes out has been tested. We have about 6 phases of testing of the product. And that's why sometimes we have customers asking whether they can buy rejects from us. And the conversation is around, we do not, our quality processes top notch, and therefore if there are any rejects, they are not traditionally they're not there intentionally. It's because there was the manufacturing process is likely to have a few offcuts that we also do not sell directly because then there are regulations by NEMA that then cannot allow us to sell them directly to end consumers. So we have a very robust quality assurance process that ensures that every product you get has been tested and is up to par with the quality standards. So we'll start with Dumuzas, the brand you know us for. This we are primarily looking at the color products for today's session. So this is just for your knowledge. And a lot of where we see Dumuzas is the unpainted product. You'll see it a lot in our rural areas, or there are people who use it for hoarding or what we call fencing. There are people who will use it for their chicken sheds. We've seen a lot of it also being used for your Simbas in upcountry. For those who want to build a simple house for maybe their son who has transitioned into adulthood, that also plays a part. And the standard lengths are usually 2, 2.5, and 3 meters. You can get this in lots of our retail outlets across the country. Then we have resin coat as well, which is our flagship color product. And there's an array of about, excuse me, there's an array of about 8 standard colors. You can get it in a lot more colors. It has a warranty of 7 years. So we are saying between year 0 and 7, you should not experience any change within the product. We're not saying that after year 7, now it will start rusting or peeling. We're just saying that within the first 7 years where you've purchased the product, you should not, it should be as good as new. Then we get into now where you'll be able to walk into our showrooms and service centers and get the products. This is Max Cover. And Max Cover is wider than any other product we have in the market. And we've just spoken about width and what that means for you as a homeowner, that you'll be able to use less sheets. So enough times when a customer walks in to our showroom or our service center and they have a quotation, we usually have a conversation with the fundi just to know what product did they use to quote, because a lot of times they find that they used a narrower product. And so we usually make sure to make those adjustments and lessen the number of sheets for you, just so you don't end up having a lot of waste on site. Again, it comes with a 7-year warranty for a gloss finish and a 15-year warranty for a textured finish. So gloss is the shiny one. The textured is what you see appearing to be a bit rough or a matte finish. Then we have what mimics the traditional tiles, which we have them in 3 profiles. We have the Orient tile, the Versatile, and the Elegant tile, and that's how they look when installed on a roof. These come with a 15-year warranty, and this matters quality. The quality is the same. It's just your profile preference may be different. There's some who think Orient tile looks better. There's some who think Elegant tile looks better. But from a quality perspective, all of them get a 15-year warranty under them. Then I also need to point out that these are also the widest we have in the market. You will find tiles, a mimicking of the tiles in the market, but they a majority of them are narrower, and so you get a lot more coverage with our tiles. Then we go to Lifestyle, which is our stone-coated profile. This comes with a 50-year warranty, and it comes in 3 profiles. We have it in Wave, we have it in Roman, and we have it in Shingle. And this is the one that comes closest to your traditional clay tiles. If you look at Roman, for example, when installed, it actually looks like the clay tile. So if you want a product that mimics that, then Lifestyle is the way to go. I've mentioned it does come with a 50-year warranty, and it has a thicker gauge. I spoke about gauge and mentioned that the gauge is the thickness. So it is a bit thicker in terms of the width, in terms of the gauge, because the product is a bit heavier to allow for the granules, to allow for it to carry the granules on top of it. So I did mention that we do sell other things just beyond roofing, and part of them are accessories. So we do not encourage roofing nails. And the reason we do not encourage roofing nails is because that's a point of, that's the first point of weakness in a roofing structure. When you do your roofing with roofing nails, then because the coating on the roofing nail is not the same as the coating on the roof, and it does not have at least for the roofing nails that are normally sold in hardware stores, they do not have a protective coating on them. So you'll find that after a few months of exposure to the elements, they start rusting, and unfortunately, they will spread that rust to the roofing sheet. And so what we do is we normally recommend fasteners, which we call Fix-Tite. And the fasteners are covered or are coated in the same coating that the roofing sheet is also coated on. We also provide RainGain, which is our rainwater harvesting system. So We do your rain gutters, we do your water tanks as well, all the accessories that you require for rainwater harvesting, your gutters, your downpipes, the clamps, all of that. You can walk into any of our centers, and that's part of our offering. I've mentioned about the tanks. You can get them from as low as 1,500 liters all the way to your 10,000 liters. We have all the variants with us. For people who are in the commercial space or are looking to do something in the commercial space, we do offer cyclones as well. And these are for matters energy efficiency, because it improves the indoor air quality without you having to supplement that with a HVAC system. It also helps to remove heat, any fumes, depending on also what the operations in your commercial building are. It also prevents, it protects your stored goods. So cyclones are also part of our offering. Then we do have a solar solution. So both solar lighting and solar water heating solutions. I'm trying not to get into the technical details of this, just to let you know what we have as an offering. Then you can, of course, I'll leave our details and you can reach out to us where we can be able to do a full-on consultation for the requirements of your house free of charge. Then we have recently started selling gypsum. So your ceiling, if you want to do any partitioning for a commercial building or even for your own home, and for ceilings as well, we are doing gypsum. So these are we call it subframe. So these are your studs and channels, and these are the boards. We do Hada. The brand is Hada, which is the best in the market. We do offer the boards and the feelers. Every accessory you need to do your gypsum ceilings, we have, including the nails and the corner tips. Then at MRM, we have a policy, we say Juu iko sawa, and this is just to reinforce our brand promise to you that we are backing up every product that we manufacture with a warranty. And so what someone can ask, what does a warranty cover? It covers against perforation, it covers against fading, and it also covers against peeling. And you can activate it. You have a USSD code where you can activate it. And we have a hotline number, a call center number, 0788-202020, where if you need any help with that also, we are able to take you through the same. So this is what compromise on the quality of your roof looks like. We have what is called differential fading. So you look up at a roof and you see it almost looks like there are two different sheets, or the person bought from two different batches. This is what differential fading looks like. And this is a compromise on the color coating that was done by the manufacturer. And that's why we're saying then we need to be able to secure our investment, because it's our hard-earned money. So let it work for us. These are other examples. In fact, here, if you can look at the top middle section, you can actually see the peeling, that originally the product was charcoal, but you can actually see the aluminum or the steel sheet underneath it. And this is not a very good look, especially because the roof is the crown of your home. And so it would be, it's a bit unfortunate when that happens, because the first thing that people see from the exterior is your roof. And so we're saying secure your investment with Mabati Rolling Mills. Then there's also another issue that comes off again from a compromise of the manufacturer, which is black rust and molds. Sometimes this can also happen during transportation. So it's crucial that when you're transporting your roofing sheets, especially in the rainy season, you don't transport them with an open truck, because it's likely to trap moisture between sheets. And also when you're buying your product, wherever you go to store at your site, make sure also that it's not a place that's prevalent to moisture, because when it gets trapped between sheets, we see some of these failures as a result. So what are we saying? We're saying make sure to secure your ultimate dream home, because this is it's your hard-earned investment, and so put it behind someone who can assure you and has experience for more than 60 years in this market. Then how do you identify a genuine MRM product? This is if you're going to purchase it outside of, maybe you go to a distributor outlet. How do you identify? We have this inkjet print, attached a photo down here of what the inkjet print looks like. So underneath your roofing sheet, after every 1 meter, there's supposed to be an inkjet print that then stipulates that it's MRM and it has your batch number up until the date and the time when the product was manufactured. And the reason for this is it allows us to go back if ever there was a complaint. It allows us to go back to the system and check where the failure could have been and to allow us to correct that. There's also what we call an embossing. So on the sheet, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, you can see what an embossing looks like. And then there's also the stamps on your Dumuza's product in particular. For the 30 gauge, it's in red, and for the 32 gauge, it's in blue. So I'll stop there. Something I need to point out. With the conversation around the width, you do get up to 30% of savings because, like I mentioned, if you're going to reduce the number of sheets that are required because you're getting a wider sheet, then we have witnessed that overall the cost comes down up to 30% just because of the wider sheet that you're able to get from MRM. At this juncture, I know I've taken a bit of time than I had anticipated to. Allow me to go to Arnold to take us through a product we are calling Safal Homes, which is now a fully kitted home. And then Caro can finalize with, when you come to us, what can you expect as a process from a commercial perspective? Arnold, over to you.
Thank you very much, Esther. I'm sorry, guys. I know we are giving you a lot of content right now, but you will bear with us into our product. So I'll quickly just go through our MRM product called Safal Homes, which we have brought into the market. And ideally, it's a home solution. It's a building solution product that you get your house starting from the start out to the end. So ideally, MRM is coming up with a product that right now you get everything done for you, starting from your foundation all the way to your finishing. So as you can see from my first slide, we are talking about giving you a home in 90 days, where we start all the way from the foundation, doing the house kit itself, and doing all the finishing that comes with it in under 90 days. So when you come to MRM through Safal Homes or through Corner Circle, we're able to deliver a house for you. I'll go to the next thing. So the reason as to why we came up with this product is because the construction industry is evolving. Every single day there are changes that are coming to it, and there are questions that people or a normal person is asking in regards to delivery timelines, when it comes to compliance, when it comes to the structural efficiency, when it comes to weight reduction, when it comes to sustainability of a product, and when it comes to the operational cost savings. So when you come into Safal Homes, these are the needs that we are trying to answer to the market. So even when we are doing the houses, when it comes to the delivery timelines, we are talking about giving your home from start to till end in 90 days, typically doing the structure or the core of the house in under 4 weeks. So these are the timelines that we are trying to work on to make sure that even when you're putting up a house, we are doing them in a good record time. When it comes to performance and compliance, I'll talk about it in a slide that is coming up next. When it comes to the structural efficiency, the house is solid. It's a prefabricated steel structured building where we are starting our foundation in 2 typical models. We are either doing a conventional foundation, which was previously done by brick and mortar, and then doing our steel members, the columns and the beams with steel, and then doing panels when it comes to our walling structure, and then giving the client the option of choosing from a variety of our roofing solution. So ideally, that is the core of the house. That is how the house looks like. And when it comes to the structural efficiency, those are the options that we are giving. Alternatively, for the people who are building their houses in area where the soil is not really friendly, we are giving the options of even doing a steel deck, where we don't need to do the foundation doing the excavation, for example, for your clay or your black cotton soil. we are giving the solution of putting up a steel decking and then putting up a house on top of it. So those are the structural efficiency methods that we're trying to look at when it comes to the house. When it comes to sustainability, I'll just mention something right now and then I'll dive into it when we're talking about the wall cladding. We are using what we call insulated panels. So these insulated panels are able to cater for your environmental needs because it regulates things to deal with thermal regulation. It talks about the resistance of the heat. It talks about the soundproofing element of the house. All these things encompassed into one product. And then when it comes to long-term operational cost savings, I'll also talk about this when we go on with the presentation, where Safal Homes is able to take care of your maintenance cost when you build with Safal Homes, because we are not doing things to do with maybe painting. So you will not get yourself having the issues of painting your house over time. When it comes to issues of, for example, mold that comes with brick and mortar houses, this is something that you're also removing from the core. The limitations of the traditional systems that made us dive into now Safal Homes is prolonged site-dependent construction timelines. And I'll give the insight into what this means. When we're talking about the brick and mortar houses, ideally there is an aspect called curing, where once you do your foundation, you will have to do curing for that foundation and wait until that foundation has cured for you to continue with the structure. When you're doing a steel fabricated house, these are timelines that you do not need to wait for. When you're doing a brick and mortar house or a traditional system, you have to have you get the problems of weather conditions. When it's raining, it is a problem for your site because curing is stopped. Or when you're doing when you're in different areas or localities, the construction things and the timelines are affected. So these are things that Safal Homes are coming to cure. When it comes to differential settlement and cracking, what do we mean by settlement? Settlement is typically your house sinking into your foundation, and cracking, it's the typical cracking for your walls, cracking for your columns, cracking for your floors. These are things that are well catered for under Safal Homes because it's a steel structured building. For what causes settlement and cracking, ideally, is having a very heavy structure on your foundation that causes settlement and cracking, because a brick and mortar house typically answers to two needs. You have to take care of tensional and compressional forces when you're doing a brick and mortar house, but when you're doing a Safal Homes, the house typically expands and contracts at an equal rate. So that one is well taken care of. When it comes to high maintenance, as I had already talked about, we are able to sort that because it's a steel structured building. Over time, you don't need to do a lot of maintenance. You're talking about 50 plus years of our steel manufactured products, because as Esther has already put it across, we are doing extra coating when it comes to our materials. So even when it comes to the longevity of the product, you're able to be catered for when it comes to that regard. When it comes to poor thermal regulation that was there with the traditional systems, this has been taken care of, especially by our walling product, which you're calling the sandwich insulated panels, which is able to cater when for your building, whether you're doing your building in hot areas, your temperature within the house is well catered for. You will not feel the heat. When you're doing your house in very cold areas, that cold will not get into the room because the thermal regulation has been taken care of. And high embodied energy that comes with even the production of the materials, production of steel, production of brick and mortar, production of cement. These are things that have a lot of energy that is being let on into the environment. The product offerings that typically Safal Homes is giving into the market is in three areas. One is in our residential units, where we're able to cater for people who are looking into residential houses, people who want 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and going forward. Those are things that Safal Homes is giving into the market. Also, we are looking at giving in the hospitality industry, where we are concentrating more on the A-framed houses. So if somebody comes in, wants a commercial space, a hospitality unit, or an Airbnb, we're able to cater for that as well. And we're able to also cater for the needs of the people who are moving, site homes and accommodations and offices. For example, people who are doing mining sectors, people who are going to do site accommodation. Those are the things that we are offering. For construction people, once they are putting up a new construction site and they want to do a site home for their people or an office for the project managers, the engineers on site, that is something that we're giving into the market as well. Why Safal Homes by Kona and MRM? It is Safal Homes is not just built; it is thoughtfully crafted, as illustrated here. It's prefabricated using advanced insulated panels that, as I said, is able to keep your house cool in the heat and warm in the cold. It is strong, it is durable, it is resistant to termite and fire. When your house catches fire in one of the panels, let us say in the kitchen, the panel itself is able to self-extinguish within 30 to 60 minutes, and it is not able to transfer the fire from one room to the other. So you are catered for when it comes to such things. When it comes to soundproofing element, you're catered for. So we are able to bring in a wave of a beautiful home, and also caring over all these other things that are coming with it: the strength, the durability, the resistance to most things. The advantages of Safal Homes over brick and timber options, it's about speed. We're able to do the house in weeks. We're able to do brick and, as compared to the other options that you'll do your houses in 4 months plus. When it comes to strength, because it is high tensile steel, we're able to take care of things to do with cracks and settlement that will not have our issues when it comes to Safal Homes. When it comes to the insulation, the thermal comfort inside the house, we're able to have excellent insulation as compared to the other things. When it comes to maintenance, our maintenance cost over time is minimal. When it comes to sustainability, our environmental aspect, we have catered for it. And also when it comes to pest resistance, if you're doing your house in areas with red soil, you have your house in areas where termite is an issue, we're able to take care of that as well. The specification and the key features that are going into the house kit itself is having a steel framed structure. It has your sandwich insulated panels. It has your ultra span trussing system. It has any type of roof cover and the rainwater goods that Esther has already talked about, the gutters and your rain gain, your tanks. It is able to cater for your ceiling and finishes when it comes to your gypsum. It is able to give you the option of choosing your doors, your mahogany doors, your sliding aluminum doors. All of them, there are options that you'll be able to give into the market. You're catered for when it comes to your windows as well. We're able to give a variety of options when it comes to your windows. And when it comes to electrical and plumbing conduits, ideally right now we are producing panels for what we call service panels, that we are able to know that this panel is taking in switches. This panel is going to handle sockets. So when you're producing the panel on in our factories, we know already that this is a panel that is going to handle the switches and the sockets. So even before we send them to site, the electricians and the plumbers are having an easier time because most of these things are produced in the factory. When we are producing a turnkey solution, which I'm sure most of us would want, ideally what we mean by a turnkey is Safal Homes Corner MRM handling your entire building solution, handling your house from the start all through the end, ideally taking care of your architectural plans, taking care of your engineering plans, taking care of your project management on site, taking care of your foundation, taking care of even seeking for these materials for you. If you need tiles, what are the types of tiles that you want embedded in the house? Safal Homes taking care of going to look and source for these materials that are going into the house. So ideally, a turnkey solution, we will do your foundation, we will handle the installation of the house as well, we will handle the floor finishes, be it whichever type of tile that is going into the house. We will handle the electrical and plumbing fittings, of course, together with the client, depending on whichever electrical fittings, whichever plumbing fittings that you want to go into the house, we will choose them with you. Also choosing on the kitchen and bedroom cabinets. If you want a granite top in the kitchen, that has also been considered. These are the key specifications. I'll go through the optional add-ons. So if, for example, you want solar power integration, our SAP Solar team is able to give you that. The rainwater harvesting system that Esther has talked about, the rain gain, the front veranda expansion, pergola, your biodigesters, your septic tanks, your soak pit, your water supply into the house, your electrical supply from your electrical pole all into the house. We're able to give that as an optional add-on. The benefits: low maintenance, eco-friendly, transportable, and expandable. Well, I'll talk about the expandability of the house. You might have done a 2-bedroom house, but you want to expand it to a 3-bedroom house. We're able to do that because our model of the house is we are putting up the house through drilling. So we can always add rooms as your needs go by. Quick installation, you're talking about 90 days, and the environmental aspect of the house. This is our structurally insulated panel. It's called polyurethane. So ideally, as you can see in the two ends, We have steel ends on both sides, and then in between the steel is the polyurethane foam. So the polyurethane foam is what typically gives us all these advantages: the high heat insulation, the good sound insulation, the fire resistance, the long time performance, the eco-friendliness, and the moisture resistance. This panel is a waterproof element, so even if you're putting it up in your external walls, you do not have issues of weather issues. This is just a technical specification for the house. I'll just talk about what we are doing for the panel itself. We're using a 50 millimeter that is able to take care of all this. For the trusses, we are going through with our UltraSpan trussing system. We are not using the traditional timber for our trussing. So this gives us the option and the expandability of doing very beautiful roof covers, because we are able to play around with the roof design. When it comes to a roofing solution or the roof cover, you're able to choose a variety from all the roofing products that MRM is providing. So with this one, with all the catalogs that we can share with you guys, you're able to choose whichever type of roof that you want to go into your house. When it comes to regulatory compliance and standards, we are, of course, taking care of the building codes. The building codes, we are taking care of every single place, whether you're building your house in Uganda, Kenya, and all these other countries. But for these purposes of this presentation, because we are regulating it to Kenya for now, we're talking about the Kenyan building codes. So taking care of NEMA, taking care of NCA and all that. When it comes to fire and safety regulations, I've already talked about the way the material that we are using is able to self-extinguish. So we're also taking care of that. When it comes to the structural safety standards, we're also making sure that our engineering team, the structural engineers, are taking care of the structural integrity of the building. When it comes to building rating, the green building rating system, we have already done this, and we're able to tell you for a fact that the building is green rated. When it comes to our design process, we are giving you fully engineered design and documentation for statutory approvals. So ideally, the only bit that you are only, as a client, you are supposed to assist us is when it comes to the approval stage. When it comes to the detailed shop drawings and structural certifications that will be used on site, we provide that for fundis on site. FAQs, I'll just go through a few. Is it strong enough compared to brick? Yes. What about long-term durability? It is structurally insulated panels, homes, and are built to last decades. Will my house feel solid? This is something that people have asked over time, because it's a modular building solution. Absolutely. Safalom's walls feel even more solid than many brick walls. Is it more expensive? At times you can get the upfront costing similar or slightly higher, but you save massively over time, because shorter construction timeline, lower energy bills because there is built-in insulation, and the repairs and the maintenance are none. So over time you actually realize that it is actually cheaper. What if I want to expand or modify the house later? We are able to expand or modify your design as your needs change. Our structurally insulated panels safe from fire or pests, that one I've already talked about. The benefits that are coming with Safal Homes: predictable construction timelines. When we tell you guys that you are going to do the house within 90 days, we are sure, because it's a steel, we're able to control every single thing in-house. It's a steel, prefabricated steel structured building, so we're able to control the construction timelines. When it comes to reduce total installed cost, because I'll give you an example. In our panels, we are not doing any plaster, we are not doing any painting. So when we are producing the panel is produced with every single element well taken care of. We have itself with its wall, and it's already coming to site as a painted element. So you do not need to do painting on site. So ideally, once a panel is erected, you do not need painters, you do not need masons to come and do the plaster. So we have reduced the installation cost of the house by a lot of things. And also when it comes to the way we have talked about embedding the conduits inside the panels, we have reduced on the installation cost. Streamlined design assist collaboration with architects and engineers. We have in-house architects and engineers who are able to design your house to perfection, as compared to brick and mortar or alternative methods of construction where you would need to seek for professionals to do your design. In-house for Safal Homes, we're able to do that for you, and we are not charging you a dime for that. When it comes to simplified site logistics and safety, we're able to offer you transport to whichever type of site that you're going to. We're able to handle your logistics without the presence of you on site. When it comes to life cycle building performance, the building is able to perform in a great way. The residential houses, I'll talk you as we started. I talked about 3 product offerings. One, residential houses, the 2, the A-frames, the hospitality one, and the site offices. I'll quickly brush through this. So in our first product, which is the residential houses, Safal Homes is offering the houses in the market in 2 ways. There are people who get asking us if we can do just the house kit. They're able to do their foundation by themselves, and they want to also do the finishing by themselves. We say that is fine, and we offer the house at a cost per square meter at 38,000, and the turnkey solution where we are able to give the complete housing solution. The cost per square meter, this is just to give you a range of how much maybe your per square meter house might range. The general housing solution is going at 54,500. I will go into the costing elements of it. The 1-bedroom house, we are starting with the smallest 1-bedroom that we can go. Remember that we offer customizable designs into the market. So we will give you, ideally, we will walk through the journey, giving you designs. We design the house until the design that you want. So we can go a 1-bedroom of 40, we can go a 1-bedroom of 450, we can go a 1-bedroom of 60, depending on whichever type of design that your client wants. So going with the smallest 1-bedroom that we're able to offer into the market, it is a 1-bedroom over 40 square meters that is starting from 2.18. As I've put in the slide, it's inclusive of VAT. So when you give us the 2.18, ideally this is a complete house. When it comes to your foundation, your house kit, and your finishing, all of that is catered for at 2.18. Your 2-bedroom house, the smallest that we're giving into the market is a 60 square meters at a cost of 3.3 inclusive of VAT. As I said, your plans are customizable, and we can design to whichever type of 2-bedroom that you want, 60, 70, 80, going upwards, or even going lower, depending on whatever type of house that you're going into. For the 3-bedroom house, we are giving it at the smallest of an 80 square meters, which is 4.4 million inclusive of VAT. The hospitality, which is typically the A-frames, are going at a cost of 57,500 per square meter. We're able to give the options in the A-frame designs at a 45 square meter. This is at the ground floor. So ideally, a 45 square meter house, when you do the ground floor together with its the upper floor to get the cost, the entire floor area will come to around 80. So you get your ground floor coming to 45, and then you together with the upper floor, you get the entire house coming to around 80. The 60 will ideally come to around 110, and the 90 will ideally come to 160. So those are the costs for the A-frame designs. For the 45, which ideally is 80, floor area together is 4.60 inclusive of VAT. The 60 square meters ground floor, which is coming to 110, floor area together with the upper floor, it's coming to 6.12 inclusive of VAT. And then the 90 square meters, which ideally will come to around 160 cumulative floor area, is coming to 9.20 inclusive of VAT. So the A-frame designs are also always customizable to taste and preference from the client. So for the site offices, we're giving them at 43,215. This is ideally for the people who are looking into site accommodations, houses, and offices. This is a typical site house that has a lounge or a dining, a kitchen, simple wash, WC, and a shower, and a bedroom. As you can see, it's just a 10.4 by 4.95, which ideally is a 50 square meter house. So ideally, it's a comfortable 1-bedroom house that can be used on site. That is a typical section. I'll finish by saying Safal Homes Building Solution empowers architects, engineers, developers, and contractors to deliver high performance, resilient, and sustainable structures. The last thing that I'll talk about in terms of Safal Homes is our purchase process. We do design first. So you'll come to us, you need a 2-bedroom house. We will do a design for you. And then after that, we will go into the contract. We will do a contract signing for you. And then we will go into the production of the materials. We will do the production. And then after that, we'll do the installation of the entire house on site, and then the property handover. How we handle finances in between is we will, of course, course, Connor will talk about that, but ideally our payment structure is a 20, 50, and a 30. The 20% is done when you're on order process, on when you're putting up the order. The 50 is done before production, the production process starts, and then the 30% of the payment is done before we start the finishing. So ideally, thank you very much for listening into Safal Homes, and that has been my time.
Thank you so much, Arnold, for that very detailed presentation. So essentially what we're saying is give your construction headache to us. Let us handle it on your behalf. For those who have been on the journey before or who are looking to get into the journey, you know the stresses and the headaches that come with construction and material theft, for example, and the headaches of dealing with so many contractors or so many laborers on site. And so essentially we're saying leave that to us and we'll handle the rest for you. So in closing, Caro, unfortunately, you'll get the least time. I'm sorry we've gone over time, but I just wanted us to handle what the process would look like when you come to us with your inquiry. Caro, over to you.
Thank you, Esther. I think I'd also not like to take any more time for the members. I think you guys have told them everything, and I know right now the question they all have is, so how do I make my order? How do I put in my inquiry, and how do I get my materials to site? So as I had mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, I'm the current account manager for Corner Sacco. So for the enquiries, you will reach out to the Sacco with the inquiry, or you can always reach out to me with your inquiry. Yes, I think probably you can share your screen for the team to see. So you'll share your inquiry with me or share your inquiry with, if it's an inquiry for roofing sheets or anything else that does not involve the Safal Homes, you'll reach out to the Sacco in itself. Then the Sacco will share the inquiry with me. I'll allocate a salesperson depending with where your site is located. They'll prepare a quotation, have it shared with the Sacco, and then the Sacco can share it back to you. Then you'll have the engagement of are you getting a loan from the Sacco, or are you going to be paying to MRM? With this current partnership that we have, for you to qualify for the special discounts or the special rates, you have to pay through the Sacco. So once your loan is processed, depending on the quotation, the Sacco will pay us directly. But if you're also looking to pay cash, you still have to deposit the money to the Sacco, then the Sacco pays MRM directly. This is for audit purposes and for us to verify that yes, this is surely a Corner Sacco member, and therefore they qualify for the special rates that MRM is offering to the Sacco. So once the payment is shared with MRM, the order is issued for production, and then once the order is ready, it's delivered to your site as per policy. So we have different types of deliveries where we'll deliver to the nearest town, or we'll deliver to your site. We do offer delivery at 100-kilometer radius from our nearest service center. I can give an example, like from Nairobi. Anything that is being delivered from Nairobi will be delivered from our Athi River showroom. So the 100 kilometers will be counted from there. And if you're buying in the Western region, we have service centers in Kisumu, Kisii, Eldoret. So the 100 kilometers will start counting from wherever that is. In Central, we have Thika, we also have Nyeri, and we have Meru. The 100 kilometers will start counting from there. We also have a service center in Nakuru. So the 100 kilometers will start counting from there. And we also have a service center in Mombasa. So if you're building anywhere in Mombasa, probably you're building your holiday home or anything of the sort, we'll also be able to deliver for you within 100 kilometer radius. So yes, we have you covered. The only disclaimer we give is your road to be accessible, because we deliver using trucks. So the road needs to be accessible for our trucks to access. And then offloading is definitely on the client. So your contractor, whoever is building for you, is the one who's going to be responsible for receiving the material and offloading them to site. So in case you have any inquiry or you need to be assisted in anything, you can always reach out the Sacco, then they'll direct you to me. So I'm the co-account manager, because as you can see, the roofing products are many. And then Arnold is the account manager when it comes to Safal Homes. So our details are here. That's my email address. and that's my phone numbers. Both our phone numbers are on WhatsApp, so you can always reach out to us on WhatsApp. So I don't think I want to take any more of your time. Unless you have any question, I'd be more than willing to answer. Thank you very much. Back to you, Esther. Thank you.
Thank you. That has been our time. Thank you so much for lending us an ear. We are available for any inquiries, any consultations. We have representatives across the country if you need possibly someone who can come on site. For example, you've roofed with us before and you have a challenge, maybe you can contact us and we'll be able to tell you to give you someone who's close to your site, and we are able to advise and offer consultation free of charge. So thank you. That has been our time. Back to you, Winston.
All right. Thank you very much for the insightful and informative presentation. We truly appreciate the time taken to walk us through the wide range of Mabati Rolling Mills products, the unique features, quality standards, financing opportunities, and the value they bring to our members' construction and home improvement journeys. Because over here at Corner Circle, we believe that informed members make empowered financial decisions. We'll now transition into interactive question and answer session, that is Q&A. We encourage everyone who's actively participating to keep on sharing their questions, seek clarification, or even share experiences related to Mabati Rolling Mills products. No question is too small or too complex, because this session is designed entirely for you as a member, whether prospective or even the currently who are very active. Kindly submit your questions through the chat box or use the designated Q&A feature, and our competent mortgage team will be delighted to address them together with the MRM panelists you have over here. As you do that on the Q&A feature and also the chat box, I'm going to go through a few of them which have been already posted on that section, and this I'll post to our MRM representatives. Kindly please talk about Orientile. Do you have a special way that they should be installed? What I'm going to do on my side, I will go through a good number of the questions, and I hope our MRM team is very active to just document them, then they can answer them all at once. So the first question was, please talk about Orientile. Do you have a special way that they should be installed? And also, we have one of our members asking the pricing when it comes to everything you've talked about, which you can either share with us or just walk through, give us a walkthrough when it comes to the different pricings. Another one is, what if the design is mine? That is one of our members who's asking that. So the member is seeking clarity on if the member has the design, how he or she can go about it. The other question is, do you have constructions in any site in Kenya? So kindly MRM, you can respond to that. We also have one of our members asking, where are your offices located? I'll begin with answering when it comes to the circle itself. We have our offices in Eldoret, that is Eldoret Care Center. We also have our office at Jambo Contact Center along Mombasa Road. Then we also have the Corner Circle main branch, that is at the Goodman Plaza, first floor along Wayaki Way. For MRM, they definitely get deeper when it comes to the various offices they have around the country. We also have a question that goes like, how about a story house, say 3 floors? So kindly MRM, you can educate us on that. And to our mortgage officers over here, I have seen those selling prefab panels, selling per panel. Do you do the same? What is the cost and size? So I'll allow MRM to go through these questions, and also our mortgage team over here that is headed by Nelson and also Sharon. So kindly, as the question trickle in thick and fast, we can go through this as we continue. So feel free to continue asking the questions. We'll be right here to effectively respond to them.
All right.
So take it over, MRM.
I'll take the Orientile. A member asked about Orientile and the installation. Oriental is the failures on Oriental is typically an installation problem. And this happens when, for example, not to get too technical, but sometimes installers would fasten on the crest, or what we call, so installers are supposed to fasten the screws on the crest, or what we call mugongo in the market, not on the trough. So what happens is when you nail or you screw your fastener on the trough, you are literally putting your fastener directly in the path of running water. So what that means is you will increase the chances of roof leak significantly. Another one is matters overlapping. So the incorrect overlap will, what it does is allows for capillary action. So water is drawn inside. Number 3 issue would be your piling spacing. So we have a recommended piling spacing, and your piling is the bows that you put, or the in our case, the steel pilings that you put to support your roof. We have a recommended minimum piling spacing, which, like at the ridges, usually 300 mm, and on your internal spans would be about 600 mm. Now, in a bid to cut costs, sometimes either the homeowner will advise that the spans be longer, or be wider, or the installer themselves will have the span be wider. And what that does is it causes a bit of sagging, and so overall the structure is compromised. So a lot of the issues, and this could be coming from either someone who's had the profile installed in their home before, or they are in the space themselves, they are a contractor and this is work they do on a regular. A lot of the challenges with Oriental are not inherent in the product. They are as a function of installation challenges, which I've mentioned. And so wherever you need help, if you need us to recommend an installer that we've trained ourselves, we're happy to do so. If you're a contractor yourself and you need us to demonstrate the best practices in terms of installing Oriental, we're happy to do so as well. On our office, where our office is, I don't know whether that was directed to Kona Sacco or to us, but I'll go ahead and answer all the same. Our branches, sorry? Okay, our branches span across the country. In the coastal region, we have Voi, Mombasa, and Diani. In Nairobi and the outskirts, we have Kiambu. We are in Nairobi, the main office. We're in Kamakis, Ngong, Machakos. I'm talking about Nairobi and environs. Then in central region, we're in Thika, Nyeri, Chuka, Meru. And in Meru, we have 2 centers. We're in Narok as well. Once we start going down to the Rift section, we have Naivasha, Nakuru, Nyahururu, Eldoret. We go all the way to Litein, Kisii, Kisumu. We are almost at the border with our showroom in Migori, we're in Bungoma, Busia, all the way to Lodwar. So we are pretty much in every region of this country, either as ourselves. The ones I've just mentioned are where we have regional offices, but we're in pretty much every county in this nation with our distributor network as well. I'll pass on the question on prices to Carol, and then the design. Someone questioned what happens when they have their own designs. Arnold will address that alongside the storage house question. Let's start with Carol.
Thank you, Esther, for that. So on pricing, different products have different prices. As Esther had mentioned in her earlier presentation, we have various tiers of products. So we have what is generally known as box profile in the market, which is max cover. Max cover is slightly cheaper than the tile profiles, that is your Oriental, Versatile, and Elegantile. Then we also have what we call, which is our most premium product, Lifestyle, which is a stone-coated product, what goes by the name Decra in the market. So different products have different pricing depending on what you want. Arnold, I think you can take up the question on the Safal homes.
So I'll answer them quickly. I'll start with what if you come in with your own design? It is still okay. We will just take the design and then do a costing for it. So you feel free to engage whichever type of architects that you want to bring in or engineers. Yes, once we get the design, we can always cost for that. How if the question on if we can handle a story structure? Yes, we can handle a story structured building. What we do is when it comes to the foundation, we will do a brick and mortar or a conventional foundation, then do our steel members for the ground floor, and then we will do a steel deck on the first floor slab, and then marry it with a small layer of concrete so that when you're moving things on top, it does not cause commotion to the below ground floor, and then finish the house like that. So even if it's a 2-story, we're able to do that. There was the question about what per panel cost is. So we are doing our panels at typically 1.2 width, 3 meter height. That is our standard. Of course, we can go higher all the way to up to 8 meters. Our cost per square meter is 3,100. So if we typically go for the 3 meter by 1.2, that will be around 11,200. But then again, these are costings that, of course, when you reach out to us, you can get. When you're dealing with getting them in the house, of course, you will realize that the cost goes lower because it's a product that we are selling into the house as Safal Home. So of course, when you're buying a panel as compared to when you're buying a house, the cost per panel goes lower. And then somebody asked also about if they can visit a sample house or if they can visit a completed project. We have our sample house in industrial area where if you get in touch with us, we can take you. It's in one of our offices where you can see a completed Safal Homes, and then you can get the look and feel of the product. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to the MRM team for the inclusive and the detailed response to the question. So what I'm going to do, I'll hand this over to our mortgage officer over here at Kona Sacco, that is Nelson Chili, so that he can walk us through briefly and very fast through our various construction mortgages and how we can go about this. Take it over, Nelson.
Good evening. Thank you, Kat, for the opportunity, and welcome to the webinar. From the Kona side, we for financial inclusion for all of our members, we are very ready to support the whole membership in terms of house acquisition, construction, buy and build houses. In this case, for the project being presented by the MRM team as Kona Sacco, if you want us to support you in one way or the other, you can just approach us directly, give us your plan, how much you want to spend on that house. We will also be able to analyze your eligibility, and then we give you a maximum amount that you can utilize in terms of the house construction. Once you have that figure, you will be able to determine how much in terms of your, determine the type of house you want to construct. In this case also, in regards to the question posted on the chat, there is one from Brian Rotich. You have a code down, you want to do the roofing. This is possible. You can just contact the Sacco. We check on how much you can be able to afford. Then based on the BOQ, we'll be able to finance you. On the question posted by David Chukuna, I want 5 rental 1 bedrooms. How much can I make a story building? Under our commercial loan products, we have a maximum limit of 100 million. For in this case, we'll have to first of all check the project, check also on the eligibility, then we'll be able to guide on way forward towards acquisition of the property. And then under the Sacco products, we also finance ready homes. Remember that. We also do the buy and build, and we also do the construction mortgage. For construction mortgage, basically it will go towards this Safal house construction. Based on we don't have the financial inclusion, which gives a limit of up to 3 million, but we'll be able to see based on the customer or member needs will be able to finance as SACCO. So if you have any question, you can also send the request to our official email, that is info@KONASACCO, for further guidance and support towards the request. Thank you. Back to Katz.
All right. Thank you so much, Nelson. And once again, to the MRM team. As we close today's session, a very special thank you goes to our esteemed panelists and facilitators from Mabati Rolling Mills, KONASACCO, and also for sharing their expertise, valuable insights, and practical guidance on the products and solutions available to our members. Your contributions have undoubtedly enriched today's discussion and empowered our members with information that will help them make informed decisions. To our members and participants, thank you for engagement, thoughtful questions, and continued commitment to learning and growing with KONASACCO. We value your continued patronage and partnership with us. Your participation is what makes these sessions meaningful and more impactful. Before you leave, kindly note that a short feedback survey will pop up on your screen shortly after this webinar in form of a link on email as well. We encourage you to take a few moments to click on the survey link and share experience with us. Your feedback is extremely valuable and will help us continuously improve our member education programs and deliver content that best serves your needs and expectations. We look forward to hearing your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations. On behalf of KONASACCO and our partners, Mabati Rolling Mills, thank you once again for joining us today. We appreciate your time, your participation, and your continued trust in us. Don't you worry, this conversation and this webinar will be shared to you on email at some point amidst the week. And also it will be fully available on YouTube. It will be uploaded on our KONASACCO YouTube page as well. Have a wonderful day ahead. Stay safe, and we look forward to connecting with you again in upcoming member education sessions. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Ama utenge nyumba yako na KONASACCO Construction Loan at 9.5%. Ama ukitaka unachukua kona commercial road up to 100 million. Nacheka vile nasikia. Hata sikuwa na ubaya. Yai ni KONASACCO. Atukaina KONASACCO.net. Mbona na nchi kodi to 10.5 million.